Alrighty, hello ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the stream. I am your host, Jinxeekatt. With me is the absolute love of my life, Tetcher. How are you doing, my dear?
I'm good. I'm a little tired, but I'm also full of hype and excitement because we have a Division E game, and these are always some of my absolute favorites. I love Division E.
Me too. It has been an absolute blast, I will say, my dear. You are a tad bit crackly, so while we let Tetcher fix that, we're going to talk about the map picks super quick. So, some of you might be wondering, Jinxie, where are we going? How did we get to where we go? Don't worry, or I guess where we're going. I've got you. I try to do this so smooth. Much better, by the way, love. I always try to do this so smooth, and it never comes out. And you know what? We're just gonna roll with it. So, update that bad boy. Boom. If you are just getting here and this is your first time, I feel like I'm missing maps, but you know what? It's probably fine. That looks like 10. I think that's what our map pool is. I can add them on later. It's not
Does it have
important.
Sky Temple?
What?
Does it have Sky Temple?
It does not have Sky Temple.
Yeah, you're good.
We're probably fine. It's probably fine. So anyway, looking at this, as you can see, BOE and Volskaya Foundry were banned away by FF and the Pancakes. Hanamura and Towers of Doom banned out by Icecrown Citadel Knights. And then, of course, Tomb of the Spider Queen is going to be our first match in this best of 3 series. Was picked by ICC. FF and the Pancakes won the coin toss, opted for first pick, and here we are. So, that's what you guys needed to know. I see some R's in chat. Are you ready, Tetcher? Because I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm always ready for the wonderful games. Like we said, the players are ready, they are exciting, and this is so exciting for us because we did some research into statistics, and neither of these teams have any full statistics. Hero stats, NGS, no previous matchups. This is all new. New experiences, new players, new games. As we are heading into game number 1, we're going to be seeing FF and the Pancakes with first pick and first ban.
So, Tomb of the Spider Queen, what do we expect to see here? Johanna, this is her best map. We can like to speculate a little bit about what is going on. So,
Sorry, I'm just giggling at the name Slipping Horse. Just saw that one. That's superb. Oh man. Alright, so Tomb. Map rotations, 4-man rotation, very important, and a dominant solo lane in either the bottom or a replacement solo laner to solo the top lane, someone like a Junkrat, for example, to take over top lane and instead do a either split or 4-man rotation mid-bot. It's a swap you can do on this map. For now, though, we are removing Mei. Great rotator, great harasser, and great gem denier due to her incredible zoning.
yeah, I think she's really solid. We're also going to see that Cassia getting taken out, one of the best team fighters still, despite the recent nerfs. So, makes sense. And then immediately, that Jaina ban. Gotta get rid of that wave clear for FF and the Pancakes. It does leave Orphea available, Kael'thas, Tassadar. Never mind, there goes Orphea.
Orphea is removed, one of the most mobile assassins in the game right now, very assassin-focused. So we move into the first pick of the game. In terms of tanks, Mei's the only ban out, which leaves us with ETC and Diablo and Garrosh. But instead, we're going for a map favorite. It is Zul, who is going to be the first pick. We talked about that dominant solo laner, or potentially a dominant rotator, due to the fact that he will summon all the skeletons. If he wants to go Jada's build, he'll stack it really fast, and if not, he's just fantastic at wave clearing, some of the fastest in the game.
Yeah, definitely. Zul, of course, like you said, makes it so difficult on the enemy solo laner, just able to go between the lanes, join the team fight, and then come back before the you know, the other hero has an opportunity to rotate out of lane. We are going to see that Johanna and the Asmodan picked up here from Icecrown Citadel Knight, which again makes sense. This is probably the strongest map for Johanna after her nerfs a couple of patches ago. We're going to see an ETC ban come out as well, and so far I'm really liking the draft of FF and the Pancakes.
I do like the draft FF and the Pancakes. The fact they have Decade now with the nerfs to Ruby means there's a good chance we will see the Potion of Shielding, which against an Asmodan might be a really big deal. And if not, if he does choose to still go for that Ruby, that is a Johanna Asmodan composition, which is what we're going to call the beefiest hitboxes. Because that is going to be potential insane Ruby value if they go for that.
It's the old Thickums draft. It makes it hard to move around. They have the big hero models. Have you ever had one of those games where you're just like, where are my rubies? And it just turns out that your hero is so fat, as soon as they come down, they suck up all the rubies, and you still wonder why you died because that's a Thickums for you. Yeah. Too much character, too much cake. We are going to see the Alex Straza and the Rainer come out here for Icecrown Citadel. And interestingly enough, Courtney from FF and the Pancakes picking up the Kira. There's been a lot of debate about Kira currently being a dead hero since the new Gladiators medallion allows you to drop her off in the middle of your team. What do you think, Thatcher?
Yeah. I think there's sort of that dead zone in the middle where we have the highest level of play. Players can still make Kira work because the revolving swing, you're going to be able to tell who still has that medallion. Thrall going to be a good laner to try and deal with Kira due to range zaps. But in the mid-level of the game, you have those Kiras who are just going to go, I engage using this button and this button only, and create big problems. But in this case, with already a very high crowd control draft, there's a lot of things that might pull out that medallion anyway, and the Kira damage output is still good. She's always been good since release, so having her in this case, with that much crowd control in the rest of the team, she might be able to find some still solid uses, but I'm excited to see if she does just get dipped into the enemy base via a medallion cleanse.
Yeah, word has it that Kira isn't your favorite hero.
I have never played her. Can't tell you.
I mean, I could have swore it was you who hated Kira, but maybe it's someone else. All right, we always like to speculate about these drafts before we hop in. We are loading with lightning speed, and I can't even base it off of who has the portrait synergy, because sometimes the teams don't, because they both do. But looking at these drafts so far, who do you think has the better draft just on paper, Tatch?
Running in for a crowd control composition, we're against a team with no actual cleanse hero, purely relying on Alex Straza with no self-cleanses, except for Johanna's Iron Skin, the Medallion, and level 20 Rainer. Makes me a little afraid for Icecrown, so I'm going to be leaning a little bit more towards the control that is offered by the side of FF and the Pancakes. How about you?
Definitely makes sense. I like the spice of ICC, and I might be a little bit biased because there is a Lich Queen, and that's me too. So I'm going to give it to Icecrown just based on the fact that I like their mascot. We will have to see, though, as we hop in over here on the right-hand side. We have Icecrown Citadel Knights with Slipping Horse on the Asmodan, Lunchbox on the Rainer, Shinbuku on that Johanna. Squared will be your Alex, and down in the bottom, it's the Lich Queen on that Thrall.
And on the left-hand side, in the blue trunks, currently trying to get to Johanna, but Iron Skin, pretty good ability, yo. It is going to be the side of FF and the Pancakes. Jaeger going to be bouncing away on that Muradin. Courtney heading down to bot lane on the Kira. Mr. G going to be playing the Kael'thas. We have Stampy on the Zul, who is in the 4-man this time. And we're going to have, I assume that is Ziggy, I assume how that's pronounced, on the Decade Cane.
I'm glad you thought that, because I also thought it was Ziggy. Watch, they're gonna come in for the interview. I'm like, how do you say your name? They're gonna be like, Steve. We are seeing a little bit of a skirmish come out here in the middle lane. Murden having to use that Dwarf Toss to get away. I was taking this time to look at some of the talents here. For Azadan, we've got that Gluttony, increasing the number of stacks of Annihilation gained from hitting heroes from 2 to 3. And then, of course, the quest that comes along with it. What's catching your eye?
Definitely the level 1 talent from Muradin, where he is currently going for the Dwarf Block. Going for that Dwarf Toss talent, giving him that damage, those 4 stacks of block versus Reyna. A very heads-up talent, going for that main protection due to the fact that he also has 2 melee heroes in his front line. He needs to make sure that he's eating as many of those hits as possible. But to counter that, we immediately have Rolling Thunder coming in from Thrall to try and deal with some percentage damage to burn through. And with the solo tank composition, but still the beefy health box of Asmodan, we end up seeing the backlash for Zul. And finally, we are going to see Field Study for Deckard, which definitely leans us more towards the Ruby style of play.
We're actually
But
not
I'm
going to see the
Immediately
rubies come
proved
out.
wrong.
You were correct. It's that potion of shielding, and just like you said, I'm quite surprised to see the dwarf block. But when you look at the composition of Icecrown Citadel Knights, it makes sense. Raynor, of course, is so damaging to a tank. Trust me, I know. It feels bad. So definitely makes sense to get that extra protection against Raynor. And then, of course, Thrall does quite a bit with autos as well. He runs up, he bops you with the Wind Fury, and it feels awful.
It's going to be a little harder, though, as more interesting talents at level 4. We are going to be seeing Grim Scythe. It is going to be a frontline-styled tank Zul. We do have the main tank of Muradin, obviously, but he is going very much for a more bruiser style, which means it's going to be very heavy on Kira to make up for the damage output that will be lost compared to some of the other weaken or decrepify style builds.
I just realized that I never updated my stream title. So sorry, everybody. This is Division E ICC, Icecrown Citadel Knights versus FF and the Pancakes. But it should be the other way around because FF are the home team this evening. So I will go ahead and update that as we're just continuing to see the rotation come out here from both teams. You know, that's really the way that you play the earliest team with the Spider Queen. It's just making sure you can get as much soak as possible, get those gems, because you have 53 to 26. Icecrown Citadel Knights closer to the turn-in at the moment, but we all know spiders, and that can change in an instant as we see the Lich Queen getting a little bit of a bop in here from Courtney. Alex Rosa comes down to drop some heals before heading back up. Boom.
Yeah, Alex Raza with a little attempt, not so much of a gank, because Alex Raza doesn't offer too much for a gank, but it makes sure that the Lich Queen survives the lane effectively. By the way, we're going for single target healing Alex Straza, a talent build that honestly has become a little rarer these days. Going for that live and let live and life blossom combined with the exuberance to keep her safe and mobile. It's a rarer talent build to see these days. It's very cool though, considering the single target focus of Kira, so it makes a little bit of sense there, and you don't want people grouping up for the circle of life when there's a Zul and a Kael'thas in the other team. So very sensible, but fun to see.
We are going to see the first web waivers of the game again get turned in by the members of ICC. They're going to push in on this middle lane. Alex does get the Bone Prism, has to step back a little bit. Scroll the ceiling is good, and now everybody is on defense mode. Later pickup coming out from those Knights by Icecrown, and I think it's working out really well for them. They will finally fall. They had a solid amount of spell armor that entire time, and Webby also had a lot of spell armor, so it was a little bit more difficult for FF and the Pancakes to clear though. However, they managed to get it done fairly quickly, and now top is the aggressing point.
Iron Skin is burned a little early, but with the rotation, they didn't want to take the risk of losing their Johanna. She just takes the hit, burns the cooldown. She was also low on mana. Thrall has perished the gank attempt in the bottom lane by Jaeger. They're able to grab that kill, and Courtney actually will lose this fort. I think those 2 ranged minions will finish the job before Kira can actually finish them out. So that's first fort of the game going over to Icecrown, but they are going to lose not only Thrall, but they are definitely losing Asmo for it.
Feels bad. Kira is not a wave clear hero. Medallion coming out for Lunchbox. They do pop it a little bit early and end up taking a huge amount of damage. Is Alex going to be able to heal him up? No, they don't have enough time. The health not there for that CDR. And as such, that is going to be 2 members going down for Icecrown. And then on top of that, here comes the blue Web Weavers, as well as level 10. So I was starting to worry a little bit about the Pancakes, just based on the fact that, you know, they took a little bit of a walloping from those spiders. They lost the fort, but now they're sitting quite pretty. They're going to look to push this mid lane. Again, very standard here when you don't have a whole lot going on up in the top. And so far, doing a pretty good job.
Sieging in as best they can. Decker gets a 3-man route. Maybe would have been worth the stack, the scroll of Identify in this case. But they're still getting some great siege damage. Dragon Queen is forced out. That will force them to disengage on mid. Thrall will not be able to save that.
Go, Lich Queen, I believe! All right, Web Weaver will go down, but it's probably going to be a similar case scenario here, unless Thrall has a little bit better wave clear than Kira and actually manages to survive it. Meanwhile, though, Zool is going to fall down. Say while and Listen has dropped, as does that final cut from Kira. Lifefinder coming out. Rainer, baby in the back, gets blown up. Dwarf Toss comes out, but slipping Horus with 200 HP is going to get away here.
Able to live, so unlucky, like you say, for that Raider. Less than a second until that Circle of Life popped and got shut down by the Kira final strike. Lich Queen, there is a Merc Queen there, but with vision lost on the map of a couple of members, including Zool, it is not worth the cap. Gonna port back, stay safe, stay alive. As everyone else respawning, Rainer is back, baby. But we mentioned this is exactly what happens when you get when you survive the first Web Weavers without dying, which is exactly what happened for Pancakes here. They were able to stay alive, accumulate gems as the lanes pushed up, and they're able to get their double turnip.
This is going to be a big push for the Pancakes. I think that bottom fort is probably going down this time around. No wave clear in the world will be able to save it. Once again, mid seems to be priority for FF and the Pancakes here. We'll see if they get it down this time around. Level 12, we'll take a look at some of these stats here I have on screen for you. Anything catches your interest, my lovely chat. And
the stat story, as we see this, Courtney grapples out, Web Weaver gonna go down, everyone disengaging. Yeah, sorry, was that stats or talents?
This is stats, actually. This is control 2 on your alley off. So if you want to take a look at that, and I was replying to the chat, I'm sorry, it was probably like the worst time to start talking about stats as they're pushing in middle lane, which actually doesn't do much. The members of Icecrown Citadel were able to fend off that attack fairly quickly there. We'll hop back to the talent as level 13 does come online for the members of FF and the Pancakes. Middle fort actually does end up falling when Icecrown went to go push. FF decided just to finish that off. So that is the triple fort there, which can be very unfortunate. But still, not anything that Icecrown can't come back from. It is just going to be a lot of roaming now and trying to gather resources, as only 24 gems on the side of FF and the Pancakes.
So I'm not 100% sure how the tanking stat works on Ali Obs. I don't know if it's damage reduced or prevented, or in total damage taken when you are in a tanking role, which I believe was only applied to heroes of armor or shields. Blessed onto Jaeger as they try to get onto Lunchbox, chasing deep. Flame strike, stun, and that is going to be a dead Raider. Lifebind will not save that, as we will see it. Shinboku backing away. But I wanted to point out that we do still see good targeting coming out of Icecrown because of the fact, doesn't dive in all the way, because of the fact that Deckard actually has the second most amount of damage tanked on his team with a Zool and a Kira in it. So has therefore been targeted quite a significant amount by the forces of Icecrown.
The old and the wicked just don't die. That Deckard, man, he's a bruiser too. Like, ever since that was pointed out in the Division A show matches right at the end of Season 9, like that's all I can see, because it's so hard to kill a Deckard Cain. We're going to see a fight over here on the boss. It's going to only be Johanna on that point, and as such, FF and the Pancakes are going to grab this. Slipping Horse going to go down. Maybe a little bit overkill regarding the Pyro and the Kira on that Azmodan. We are going to see the Lich Queen. She's got 50 gems. Nobody's coming back for poor Thrall, and that is a huge loss going out for Icecrown Citadel Knights. They had the great idea. They went in there, and it was looking good for a second. But ultimately, with only Johanna there and everyone focusing her, it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, they came in, Johanna tanking on the point, but there were two things working against them there. For starters, there was a good play. There was a lot of very grouped up heroes, and Asmo was slamming and forced out two heroics onto that Johanna, the final strike and the Poison Nova. But what worked against them is Deckard level 13. The Potion of Revival, a load of grouped up heroes, and AoE healing for 50%. And also what worked against them is the Zoning Zool, just moving up, who is now at full build. Now he is weakened, making it even harder to fight, but he zoned out that backline and left just Johanna on the point, preventing her from getting any effectual value. Very well played here by FF and the Pancakes.
I'm so glad that you pointed it out, because I've taken a look at the Deckard build a little more closely now, because, you know, we always see some of these standard icons and we're like, okay, it's standard build. But Potion of Revival, I don't typically see. It's just something, you know, you see as you go up the ladder, but it got a ton of value, like you said, Thatcher. And then, of course, as well, we have that Kanyai's Cube. I don't even know how to say that because it's been so long since anyone has taken it. That is Herodric Cube reducing damage by 30%. This is just the don't have fun Deckard build, and ICC is really struggling into it, especially when they want to fight in these grouped up fights. One cube, a couple of potions, and nobody is dying.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. This is Bruiser Deckard build. He doesn't have as much CC, but he's got some spell power for some extra little bits of damage. He's gone for safety in numbers for an extra 10% armor and 50% cooldown reduction on his basic abilities when his team groups up, which they're only grouping up. So it's 20 armor, damage reduction, spell power, shields, and AoE heals. It's Bruiser Deckard, baby! There's a Sleep Dragon snapping, but Earthquake gonna slow down the chase and allow Squared to escape. Good stun. The screen gonna get pyroed, but we'll be able to tank through, and everyone else should be able to disengage unless, Shinboku might have overextended there to help their team.
Oh, poor Lunchbox is just being absolutely bullied this game round. They were there and then they weren't. Just a quick pop in. And then, of course, like you said, the excellent stay while and listen, getting a little bit of time off that dragon, making it less effective. Level 16 is online now for Icecrown Citadel Knights, and as such, wasn't the worst fight to take. Definitely one of those where everybody pops R and nobody goes down kind of fights. We are going to see the Unstoppable come out here from Johanna as Pancakes are looking to push in a little bit further. Webweavers have descended, and this is very daunting of a defense for Icecrown Citadel Knights. However, I think if they can prevent losing the core here, then this is going to pay well in their favor, because we are getting close to that humongous Azmodan power spike. It's a late game Asmo. We've been seeing these minions cleared out with a single globe. They have their quests completed on both accounts. I mean, look at that damage on a Stampy there.
Stampy getting bopped down quite a bit, being forced to be zoned away. There comes the charge in onto Shimboko. They're putting all the pressure on, but there's that Lifebinder. It's been getting money value all game. They only have to worry about this lane and mid lane, as bot lane is pushed up real hard. So Icecrown putting on a big attempt at this defense. Iron Skin off cooldown. They've zoned it back. The Webweaver is dead. Mid is still being pushed in, but they've got a little bit of time, but they're going to have to move for mid eventually.
We'll see if the members of FF and the Pancakes want to take this top four, but it looks like we're sending the old 2-3, sending two down to clear it really quickly. Slipping Horse has got this easily enough. Top defense still coming out. We can see Earthquake was popped there. Everyone grouping for healing, and really, really well done. Excellent defense there. This is going to be a little bit harder for FF and the Pancakes to come in and destroy everything. They've only got 23 gems, and now all of the XP is pushing towards Icecrown Citadel Knights. We are going to see FF and the Pancakes take that bruiser camp, so we'll allow them to push in mid a little bit more where the keep is the weakest and potentially bring it down.
Bot Webweaver wave never even made it to the towers. It started all the way back here, and the slowly descending ticking health on those Webweavers shut them down, didn't even make it all the way across the map, and that is the joy of pushing out a lane on this map when your opponent gets Webweavers. That is why you push them back as far as possible to get the maximum value of that ticking down health. Seeing a bruiser camp picked up, Siege Giants already in the bot lane, causing pressure. Boss, not scouted yet. We see a lot of retreat pings, in fact, because they have no vision of anyone on the side of FF and the Pancakes.
Are going to see Jaeger finally step up and look to see if anyone is looking for that boss. Not gonna do so, and this is potentially very risky. We know that FF and the Pancakes are going up to that boss and getting a start on it, but the members of ICK don't, and stepping out like that can be kind of a spooky play, so I commend them all going together as a team. This boss, 25% health now, will easily enough go over to our friends in the blue. Turn-in coming out for the members of Icecrown Citadel Knights, and that camp will have to be dealt with eventually because these are some big pushes coming out from both sides.
Yeah, very defensive Web Weaver's going to be coming in here. Oh, it's like mispositioning. Are they going to find him? They're going to chase him? Oh, he's going to show.
Oh, Lunchbox! Oh, the masturbator.
He gets away. Boss is being cleaned out. He's still juking him. He's delaying. There comes the slow. No Sapphire. Speed boost from Inspire. Mr. G self-cleanse. The Banshee is the only thing stunned out by that gravity lapse. Boss will still finish off top lane, even with the help of the Web Weaver, but it's going to do no damage to the core. Nice. As we see mid cleaned out. There's going to be only one keep achieved via this push. The fantastic delay tactics by Lunchbox.
And great clearing coming out here from FF and the Pancakes. Finally going to get to that Webby. And all these Web Weavers really did was kind of equalize the lanes. We're now in that lull in Tomb of the Spider Queen where nobody really has any gems. Nobody really has like, the vision or positioning to grab gems. So it's just kind of waiting around and seeing, are they going to step out? Are we going to find somebody? Do we just go push something? So a lot of important decision making up to the teams right here, right now. Snappy taking a lot of damage there, and it looks like fighting is going to be what ICC would like to do with what remained of that Web Weaver. It is down now. Dragon was popped. Earthquake was popped. Level 20 for both teams here. And this might just be a bunch of resources used for not a whole heck of a lot for the members of Icecrown Citadel Knights. Dragon went out. Earthquake, like I said. And now those are two humongous cooldowns that are going to be down for a while.
Which is even more important in this case to the Thrall, because it's an Earthen Shields, making him his team's best chance at survival. We do have the Ritual of Life, the 3 times Life Binder over 6 seconds for Alexstrasza. If she stays safe, that is going to be huge. And Asmodan, who is fully stacked on Gluttony and Annihilation, has gone for Pride, that extra 100 damage and a 15% area increase. Not going to make a huge deal at most of the hits due to just how insanely tanky this team of FF and the Pancakes is, but once you start seeing those hit point bars go down, every single little tick of damage is going to make a difference, and those big chunks are going to make it much easier for Thrall to maybe pick up some kills. And the same with Lunchbox. With that Execute, just any extra damage will get them to that point where Execute will do the bonus damage. For now, though, just using it to kill off a fort.
Is going to be a tricky situation for the teams. Turn-ins coming in, and the bottom camp picked up here from FF and the Pancakes. Shinboku looking for anyone they can catch out. They're just going to try and gank each other now. Vision is going to be the key to success here. We can see great scouting by Shinboku, trying to find where everyone is going to be, seeing that nobody is in the bottom lane. It is safe for the team to step up and clear these giants. So now the question is who's gonna get antsy first? Who's gonna just say, you know what, like let's go fight them? Excuse me while I jump back onto our opportunity. I'm borking the vision a little bit, but we're all back now. Murden taking a huge chunk of damage there. Great interrupt onto that stay while and listen. Ziggy taking a little bit of damage, but again, feels Deckard man, able to heal up to nearly 100 health in just a couple of potions.
Gonna pull back. Ziggy holding the line for the moment, surviving. Like you said, it was only a 10-second cooldown increase, with it being interrupted during the channel as opposed to the full stay a while, so it is back up. Slipping Horse continues to siege in. Enough gems available for the side of FF and the Pancakes. You can see Icecrown really waiting for their opportunity. They're not retreating too far back. They don't want to take any unnecessary risk. They have to prevent turn-ins, and that is what their positioning is focused on.
And it's a 21-minute game right now, and so those web weavers couldn't really make or break your fortifications, and then from there it's just, can you defend a naked core, even if, you know, your core survives. Whoever gets this next web weaver objective should win. I'm not going to say 100% that they will. We're going to see some catapult build up in that top lane. 4 Katas there, so somebody's going to have to go back eventually. But it looks like ICC looking to potentially fight instead. They know that they have a choice to make. They can either defend the turn-in or defend the Katas. And it's really tough. What do you choose in this situation?
Yeah, this minion wave will get blasted, so the catapults will be distracted, and every single, all except one, target the minions and not the core. That is a big deal. That gives time for Lich Queen to go back, but Lich Queen has shown on the lane, which means the immediate engage right onto Squared. Gotta use that life binder to stay alive. Not using it. No life binder. Down goes Squared. And that is going to be the first kill of this fight. Shinboku backing up Lunchbox. Self-cleanse again. Fantastic medallion over the wall bless shield. And that might have just saved their game.
That radiating faith was absolutely incredible. It hit all 5 heroes, saved Lunchbox's life. Well done. Quick thinking on the part of Shinboku. They have to defend for 30 seconds without anybody coming in here on the side of FF and the Pancakes. Turn-in has been acquired for them, so this is going to be a big push.
No Alex Straza for this. Lunchbox, Slipping Horse, and Lunchbox, biggest siege damage, most important for this defense. Lich Queen baits out the Pyroblast. They're able to run out of the range, so it goes to the 10-second cooldown. Bot lane is cleared. Mid lane is the next priority, because they're going to keep those keeps alive. Top lane will get a little bit of damage, but it won't actually get through the shield.
You can see a little bit of panic coming out here as Icecrown Knights are spread thin. This bottom keep is going to go down. Middle seems to be the bigger priority, but that goes down as well. And now it's naked core, but everybody is alive on the side of the orange team. Do they have enough to end? And it looks like FF and the Pancakes don't think so. They're just going to head back. Out comes that Bone Prison onto Shinboku. The Poison Nova has been dropped as well. Shinboku coming in. Courtney very low. They will go down. Lich Queen having to run back. Lunchbox is so low. Alex trying to keep him alive, but the cooldown, oh, they get it. Just in time. Shinboku trying to save their life. Once again, that stay while and listen is up. Johanna does go down. It is going to be the 1-for-1. Kira for Joe. Tough trade. Not having a main tank right now is going to be so difficult.
They keep sieging though. Asmos sends in the damage. Johanna giving her life so that Reyna may live. His wave clear right now is so important to keep them in this game. Lich Queen, have they overextended? Stampy steps up. Eats a shot. It's going to be the root onto Squared instead. Penetrating round does not land. Squared. Pyroblast incoming. No, he does have the life binder. And that will keep Squared alive.
Glad to see that they were able to pop it out this time. Sometimes you panic and you just don't think, okay, what are all the tools that I have to use? So excellently done there. Some big cooldowns used. But with everything being said and done, only 40 gems. Boss is being attempted here by the members of FF and the Pancakes. And if they're able to get this, that will most likely be the end of the game. It's a 25-minute Spiders boss. That's nothing to sneeze at.
It's short a little bit for the Spiders, but on the other side, though, Icecrown, if they can steal this, they will have the Spider Boss. They have to move up, but we do see the anchoring Jaeger. So Big Horse will see it. No one can make it there, though. No Falling Sword, but they're still going to try and pick up some kills. The Radiating Faith was good. Lich Queen gets dunked on by the boss, but is still tanking as best they can. Earthen Shields! Lich Queen tanked for so long. First and only person to fall in this fight, but that means they just lost a lot of gems. Not available for the turn-in. Lunchbox is in a bad place. Finally gets picked off with no medallion left to save, and that is going to be a 3 versus 5 and a boss to defend the core. This ain't looking good, Jinxie. This looks like to be it.
It looks like GGs are being called by ICC. They're just... I'm waiting to see if they're going to try and defend it a little bit longer. Johanna does go down. Everybody is standing in base. I know there's been kind of a debate about what you do when the GGs are called, but look at that boss ripping through the core. Like you said, Toucher, game number 1 going over to FF and the Pancakes.
FF and the Pancakes. There was a couple opportunities where we did see Icecrown gain a little bit of control, but overall, after that double turn-in came, we did see FF and the Pancakes taking a lot more control into the mid and late game, timing their stuff a little bit better, and as such, they are able to emerge victorious in this game number 1.
Just a really rough draft, I think, for ICK. I mean, we look at this end card here, 14-2. There were several times where members of FF and the Pancakes got quite low, not having that final execute hero, not having somebody to go in and kind of end things. If you didn't have a dunk ready, most of the time they used it to start the fight, that was kind of it. I think that's where we saw a lot of that discrepancy on top of that double push, like you say. So, really well done by FF and the Pancakes. We'll see if Icecrown Knights can't bring it back in game number 2.
We will see.
Take a look at
plenty
these
of opportunities,
here.
plenty of chances. Yeah, talents-wise, we already pointed out some good ones here. That Canai's Cube, the really valued Potion of Revival, and the safety in numbers. Deckard was very rarely pressured, and in fact, achieved a 0-death game on Deckard Cain. So was able to play around that very well indeed. Zul, the full tank build. The combination of Poison Nova with Andriel's Visage at the end, and the final strike combined with Unleashed Potential. There was a lot of green health bars there, Jinxie.
Worked out well for them, definitely. I'm trying to look at anything that catches my eye here. I mean, I really enjoyed that Thrall Zul duel in the boss pit. Like, I was like, oh man, this could go either way, but unfortunately Poison Nova just a little bit too much. We did go for that upgraded Poison Nova in that Andriel's Visage, so Thrall's health was going down, Zul's health was going up. It was close, but in the end just not enough. And we actually had Atlas DFZ just make the obvious big brain play, just get a 5-man trample and win easy.
Yeah, we did see a trample. I was hoping we'd get to see some more hard engages or some really fun plays with it, but in the end, Asmodan felt a little bit safer trying to use it for escapes and did survive a couple of engages around it, but unfortunately, he's against a Muradin, and his hitbox is the size of a small country.
That's true. So I'm going to update this really quickly. Hopefully, we'll get an answer here soon from where the teams are headed to, what's going on. All right, looks like we actually have a lobby. Yeah. So I am going to update this and actually put the score on for once, because I never do, and then everyone's like, what round is this? So why don't we bring it back over to here. If you're just joining us for the first time, then welcome. This is our map layout here. We'll go over it for you all super quick. Icecrown Citadel Knights were the map folks who brought us to map number 1 on Tomb of the Spider Queen. It was picked by them, won by FF and the Pancakes. FF and the Pancakes choosing to ban out BOE and Volskaya Foundry. Members of ICC picking out I never remember the name because nobody ever wants to play it. Hanamura Temple and Towers of Doom. We do have our next game. We're waiting for all the players to get in so I can tell you guys who picked the map, but I can't tell you where we're going. And that is going to be Dragonshire.
That is going to be our next map. Very different playstyle to Towers of Tomb of the Spider Queen. Tomb of the Spider Queen very much focused on a 4-man rotation, whereas in this map, that center triangle area makes that a little bit of a riskier play. So we'll see a lot more focus on a 3 to 4-man bot lane with a single hero rotating and one single hero in top lane.
Just gonna check and see who picked this out here. Think based on where the first team is, it looks like ICC picked the map.
Looks like it. That would make sense. Yep. Double check that.
I just want to make sure because there have been so many times the past couple of weeks. Okay. Yep. And there we go.
Okay. There we go. Well spotted. Best to ask. We fixed it. Waiting for one more player, and then we will be good to go.
Just say, remember to change. Remember to change. I type good.
Feels good. Jeez. Alrighty, so looks like we're gonna be ready to jump in once our last player is here and ready. So once again, priorities change on this map. We see heroes like Rexar gain a lot more priority just due to the top lane control. Leoric, Chen, Yorel, they explode in priority. Although on a Tomb of the Spider Queen, heroes like the Leoric and the Yorel, for example, are still absolutely fantastic. But in this case, Chen and Rexar are going to be higher. But again, this is Division E, so comfort picks are a lot more valued. So we're going to be seeing some. We're going to see how that ratio is to the highly valued picks versus the comfort and sheer skill picks that we may see from these teams.
I'm going to have to, well, first of all, lose my damn mind as I try to eat it on my green screen. But I think that Tomb of the Spider Queen and Dragonshire are played relatively similar. I mean, like, I will agree with what you said, that the 4-man rotation isn't as important, but a lot of it is rotating around, grabbing the points, trying to make sure that you're... Oh, gosh, what's the word? I'm losing all my thoughts. My dog's having a panic attack. My mom just came home. You gotta go rotate around, make sure your opponent doesn't grab the shrine, and then, of course, looking for those picks along the way. And in that sense, I think it is quite the same as the spiders. Oh, we should let them know that we are ready.
I can see your point there. The area control is very important. It's not like a Cursed Hollow where controlling a single area is important due to the fact the objective moves around on that map, whereas on this map in Tomb, you do have those static areas where you can set up and control. As we're going to be heading in, it's Dragonshire, baby! And it's going to be Icecrown Citadel Knights as first pick and first ban.
Gosh darn it, you keep disappearing off the screen. There's always something going on. It's just, everyone always makes the joke, or, well, they used to after that one cup you did with Caldor a couple of months ago, that Tetra's got teleporting powers. So if you guys could just keep believing that and not the fact that I'm incompetent when it comes to programs, I would appreciate that. Like you said, Dragonshire and Space Dementia, thank you very much for the follow. I hope you're enjoying the stream, and I hope you're enjoying your game, because that is Lich Queen. So, we are going to see that Orphea taken away once again. Nobody wants to deal with the lolly that killed HGC. What else can we expect to see here, Taz?
I don't know, but I'm teleporting behind you right now. No, we're going to be seeing bans on very similar heroes in this case. Everything's staying pretty much the same, as comfort is going to be the higher priority, but we might see more of a focus onto the solo lane bans in this map as opposed to full assassins, just due to the fact that solo lane is just so important here because it's an island off to itself. We all remember the days back in HGC where you'd play Leoric and you would live in top lane until level 16, or playing as Chen and just pushing forever, or as Tahaka, and maybe coming to help your team later, but the idea is just never lose the objective and push forever. Back when Leoric had the burning talents earlier on and could wave clear in less than 2 seconds.
Why isn't this working?
Those were the days.
I'm glad those days were gone. That was an awful time.
Well, you didn't
Just
like having to be forced to stay in top lane and never come down for the objective because the Auric wouldn't leave?
that was the worst. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons that I've only recently got back into solo lane, and Leoric just feels so terrible to play against anyways, just in the, I mean, I'm a Deathwing kind of gal. I'm an Arthas kind of gal. And you know what is countered by that? Leo. So, we'll have to see if he does come out. We're going to see the Zool once again. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Deckard Zool. So I think that kind of puts the Leoric to bed, which, you know, will stay there. Bones.
It does not have to, though. I mean, in theory, Zool, it would have revived the Bones, surely. But in this case, we've already seen them run the Zool as less of an offlaner. They've sort of rotated him as they saw fit and put him in the forelane, in fact, to start with. So now with that Sonya on the board, Zool can struggle into Sonya. He does have a solid lane until level 4 hits, which is not a good trade. And then he has a good lane again once he hits 16. But that is a long trade, so they might run Zool in the 4-man or even as a solo mid laner to rotate back and forth between mid and bot lane and run a separate off laner to deal with Sonya, like the Kira did last game, maybe something like a Malthael, or, we talked about it, that Leoric.
We will have to see. I'm not sure if, I mean, I don't know. We don't see much Zool in the 4-man, but of course, you could be very, very right. So I'm not going to say yes or no. I think that you make an excellent point, and honestly, I don't have anything to refuse it. ETC gonna be banned away. Maybe this is even the tank Zool. There's a lot of flexibility. It's starting to feel like a League of Legends draft. Like, where's this guy gonna go? What should we pick here?
With the triple front line, the auto-attack tank-style Zool would make a lot of sense here. And we've already seen him run in the 4 lane a little bit earlier. Let's see what we have, though, because neither team has picked any ranged heroes. There's that second off lane, exactly as predicted. And here comes Tastar. But this could still be main tank Zool, as you mentioned earlier. This could be a bit of a switch around. But finally a ranged hero as Tassadar comes into play.
Clearly, you know much about this whole drafting thing, much more than I do.
Only when Zool is involved.
Oh, Zool gives me nightmares, man. Like, when he first came out, and like Tank Zool was the thing, and I'm not a Zool player, so I was kind of that nerd in the background of my team, like, hey, you guys need anything? You wanna, like an Arthas? And they're like, you could pick Joe, and I'm like, oh. No.
Cool. Double burst on the side here, which is also another melee. Great into the Zool here. And for Malthael as well. This is working very, very well for FF and the Pancakes draft-wise. But that Li Ming with the triple frontliners is going to be, might get some good shots. Potential reset City with Calamity. But it is going to be Varian. So my prediction is Varian is going to be holding the bot lane, Zool rotating bot mid, with Malthael holding top lane as they have the best lane versus Sonya. So that's what we will see here, but there is a lot of pressure on Tassadar to actually get the kills that Varian sets up, because right now, until level 10 is hit, Tassadar is the damage.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring it back
That's a
over to
siege match.
us now that I've fixed this, hopefully, because for some reason I always have to move my co-caster call off of the screen because it does one of two things. It either appears randomly or disappears randomly, and both of those are awful. So, first of all, glad to see you back because, gosh, you're cute. Second of all, I'm glad you can make sense of this because looking at FF and the Pancakes draft, like, I'm not on NGS and I allow myself one a season. I'm going to use it in the first week. What the fuck is this? Like, I'm glad you understand it because, like, I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I don't really think about what it is, you know? So, like, that's all I really have to say on the drafts.
That is fair. The only issue I have with FF in the Pancakes draft right now is the Varian as their main damage, as their main frontline engager. Unless this is a Colossus Smash, it still could happen. But right now, I'm leaning more towards this still being the Taunt main tank Varian, with Zul also going the tank build to make up for it. But I still think I would have liked someone with a little more CC to help deal with that Li Ming and the Sonya. But we'll see if this works out. That silence is going to be very good here once we get to that taunt at level 4. For now, though, these are the teams on the left-hand side. Currently 1-0 up and missing half of Tassadar's health because Li Ming. It is FF and the Pancakes with Mr. G on Tass. We're currently going to be seeing Stampy on the Zul. Jaeger looking to maybe go to the Hall of the Storms on that Varian. Courtney heading up the top lane on Malthael. And I think it is Zizgi. Zixie? I think it is Zixie. Because there is a second X there I've just noticed on that Decade.
Warden Man, thank you very much for the follow. Over here on the right-hand side, very late into the evening, we have Shinboku on that Johanna. Squared is going to be your Rhaegar. Lunchbox on that Greymane. Li Ming will be played by Slipping Horse, and up in the top lane, it's going to be the Lich Queen on that Sonya. And I don't feel like Li Ming is ever going to die. Like, that's just my personal prediction here. Like, Li Ming and Tass, as long as, you know, they're not positioning, like, up the butt of the enemy, like, they should be fine. There's so much just carnage to be had between everybody else on either side of this team. Like, how are you ever going to kill either one of those heroes?
It's gonna be rough, like you said. There's so much protection coming in here. It's gonna be so much down to that engage of Varian, who is closing in on that level 4. Again, he still might prove me wrong. Who knows? It might just be Twin Blades. Great Force Wall. That's how they're going to get some of the front lines here. Very nicely done. First blood goes over to the side of FF and the Pancakes. It is Taunt and it is Tank Zul build. But on the other side, Johanna is going to have to cause so much chaos that Sonya just gets all the freedom to set up for Greymane or Li Ming to have a real good chance of killing that Tass.
We have that Hurricane coming out for Sonya here, which I think is a really smart pickup, as we did see that Bone Armor or that Bone Prison come out before poor Lich Queen's demise. It is going to reduce the slows and roots from Sonya if she activates it after the effect has happened. Interestingly, from Li Ming, I want to point out is the Aether Walker, which teleport costs no mana, and then I believe there's some more stuff. Casting teleport makes the next magic missiles do 10% more damage. The old,
yes.
We want you to pick this for no reason at all, so here's a random buff. Thanks, Blizzard. But, you know, still a pretty good talent. Now, we're going to see Jaeger hop in, surrounded by 3. Sorry, Storm Daddy, you don't do any damage. And that is going to buy enough time for FF and the Pancakes to grab bottom lane, as is poor Shinboku. They're all by themselves. But still quite a risky play, in my opinion. Like, clearly FF and the Pancakes have, like, this galaxy brain strategy that I just can't comprehend, because the whole time I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it and I'm just like, what are you guys doing? And it's working. So, like, clearly, like, it's not on me. I'm like, they're doing so well.
Yeah, they're playing a very rotation-based draft. Instead of going for the single lane setup, they are playing this as a rotation-based composition to try and pick Sonya, to try and pick Li Ming, and that's where they're finding their kills. At level 10, we will likely... I was going to say we'd likely see Last Rites because they need the extra damage, but in this case, it's like they might just set up for Tass more. There's the taunt, focus, root after the whirlwind, so it does slow down. Stampy goes real deep for the backlash, but it's not enough as Lich Queen able to whirlwind away and survive. But I thought we might see that, but because we've gone for Black Harvest, maybe we will still just end up seeing Tormented Souls to set up, like we said, for that Tassadar. We'll have to see.
I would like to see Tormented Souls. I think they get a lot of value out of it. We don't have, what is it? Do we? We do have the Black Harvest, so you could be onto something here. We're going to see Greymane go down. The taunt and the task damage just does so much. I see a bunch of folks in chat telling me that I'm wrong about how kills are supposed to happen, but I said on the Li Ming. So again, as long as they're not in a rough spot there, we are going to Hopefully, oh no, Lich Queen is gonna go down. You can't duel that Zool yet, my dear. Or Malthael, not Zool. I know my heroes.
Can't duel Zool either. He's going in for a kill. Here comes the attempt onto Rhaegar, who medallions route 1, route 2, rooted back to base like a really dead tree. That joke got away from me. We're going to see interrupt attempt coming in. Jaeger's going to channel. Jinboku comes in for one more. Has to use medallion for it, though. They're just going to move in for the kill. There's the taunt. Force wall. Iron Skin is used, but that is everything burned. No one's able to make their way up because Courtney will hold, and the Dragon Knight is going to be seized by FF and the Pancakes. Medallion, and Courtney with Fear the Reaper is gonzo.
Nice medallion there. Gets away, getting rid of that stun, and then I think Sonya doesn't slow. Does the slam slow? I don't play Sonya.
It does not.
Okay, so gets rid of the stun, gets away. We are going to see Dragon Knight picked up down here in the bottom by the members of FF and the Pancake, who are just decimating this bottom lane. That first wall is going to go down. Rhaegar getting caught in that scroll of ceiling, and now it is going to be this fort they have their eyes set upon. Well, has gone down as well, so this is just so much value coming out here from FF and the Pancakes.
So interesting enough, with level 10s on the board, we do see the last rites. The Tormented Souls is what synergizes best with the Black Harvest, but he just decided he wants the Black Harvest. Even though it's not the maximum synergy, but that extra duration of Reaper's Mark might make the difference with some of these later talents, including this level, including the Cold Hand, maximum slows, stay a while, interrupted, long cooldown. The Poison Nova did a lot of damage to Lunchbox, and Li Ming, Slipping Horse, is getting some low health falls, but Jinboku just runs out of health. They couldn't delay long enough for Li Ming to pick up the kills.
Remain quite low, so not able to dive in there. Sonya nowhere to be found. The 4v5 was very rough for Icecrown Knights. However, they will get this bruiser as compensation. Nobody going to stop them on that. And this is going to be kind of tough to have these point contests if only Jinboku is stepping on the point, because that's just so much damage going on to them, and Rhaegar can only heal so much. We saw the Ancestral come out, but even that was not enough.
Yeah, the Ancestral is what we're going to see here. There's an argument to be made here for Bloodlust, but into Zool, Malthael, Varian. Bad plan. So they have gone for the very sensible decision of keeping it a little bit safer. Charge to a minion to try and get to the Lich Queen. Cool play by Jaeger, but Lich Queen too fast on the reaction. We will, however, see later on the potential for either mortality or, coming up next level, Mortal Strikes for Varian, which is going to make this Ancestral potentially a little bit counterable, and that might be very bad news here.
Are going to see the taunt come out here onto the Lich Queen. Last Rites is going to seal the deal. Courtney getting quite low, gets to stay wild and listen interrupted. Malthael will fall down due to being stuck under that fort for far too long. Jinboku keeping folks underneath it, and eventually it will fall. They don't have anything. There's the Unstoppable. There's the Ancestral heal. I thought maybe that Iron Skin had been down, but it really came up at the last second, allowing them to save their life. And then, of course, with that Ancestral, it is going to be 1-for-1. A very value fight for Icecrown Knights there.
Lunchbox is going to be grabbing a shrine, going to be forced to retreat, though. We don't see the mortal wounds, by the way. The mortal strike from Varian is Juggernaut coming in here. Percentage damage, wanting to kill that Johanna here. And we do see the Ethereal Existence. This does synergize with the Black Harvest. That extra Reaper's Mark duration is for starters just good against the high health heroes. But for second, it will just mean that, I guess, Malthael will have more armor for longer. There is an argument to be made with this build. He's basically just going for the tank brawling backline killer Malthael build, but with the ability to blow up single targets, which is what the team needs.
Just a little bit of everything coming out from Malthael there. Courtney, though, maybe getting caught out, just barely misses that orb. Stay a while and listen, connecting onto two members there, and Johanna able to pop that Iron Skin. Out comes the last Rites, but Lich Queen is nice and healthy. Square taking so much damage, is taunted. Good force wall, followed up by that scroll, is going to be Rhaegar going down there, and the rest of the team just has to back out. And I have to say, FF and the Pancakes have a knack for finding these 4v5s. They're rotating so quickly, so efficiently. As soon as they see somebody is in a different lane, they go, they get their kill, they back out. So well done there.
Lunchbox continuing to do what he's been doing all game, rotating between since we've started seeing teams group, rotating up to whatever lane the enemy team isn't in. Jukes won, but not going to work this time. This time a bit late on the retreat, caught out by the roots and will be taken out. That's going to be a man down, double cap. Second Dragon Knight going to be going over to FF and the Pancakes.
Have to see. It could... Okay. Never mind. Nobody's coming to contest. I thought maybe if we had some contention, we could see a little bit of a skirmish there. Our same talent tier, so while it would have been a 4v5, like you said, Tetcher, nobody's stopping that. It is going to head middle lane, looking for that keep. Fort isn't going to survive for too much longer there. Finally falling down. And Dragon Knight not looking for the keep, actually stepping back. Where are you guys going? Looking to maybe push that bottom lane, gonna clear out these giants. Not the most effective use of the dragon. I mean, they were pretty much dead, and now this is just a little bit more lane time for the members of Icecrown Citadel Knights to get some damage onto this dragon. 66%, but finally going to be stepping up to this tower, looking to get this bottom keep, push the bottom lane even further in. Triumvirate from Li Ming, though, doing pretty well, chunking out the dragon. We're going to see Slipping Horse get kicked away. Shinboku, the only one going to be slept there and immediately awakened. Out comes that Ancestral Heal.
Trying to bully Shinboku, but the tanking was too good. Like I said, fantastic heal. Malthael, by the way, going for Memento Mori, so even more damage output for longer fights. So they've got a really weird mix of hard burst with Tas Varian and long fights with Zul Malthael, and Last Rites just sort of fits in there. It's a cool little mix-up that's working for them. They can just take any type of fight they want. It's definitely creative, and it's definitely working.
I honestly feel like maybe this might just be a absolutely insane draft play here by FF and the Pancakes, because I know I'm very confused about what's going on and why it's working, so I can only imagine how the folks playing this on Icecrown Knights are feeling, and it's just like, this is a weird game, right? Like, I am struggling so bad. If somebody's here for the first time and this is like the cast you're seeing, then I apologize. But it's like every single time these teams meet each other, something almost happens and then it doesn't. In a 5v5, like here, like the 1v5, Greymane goes down. Out comes to stay a while and listen. Now they're going to look for more. Blitzqueen does pop that Wrath of the Berserker, gets away. Shinboku, nice and tanky, gonna be able to get out there. Lich Queen using that Hurricane to get away. Malthael finally finishing that Black Harvest. Johanna will fall after stepping back in. And now they're just gonna take this, this front wall, but like I was saying, like, this is super weird. Everything just almost kind of happens and then it doesn't. It's very slow play, and like, it's like a 7/8 dance number, you know? Like I'm like, okay, this is gonna happen, and then this is standard heroes, and FF and the Pancakes are just like, nah. Like, what if we didn't though?
It 100% works. The triple front line is nothing new, but in this particular fashion with these talents, that is where we're seeing the differences here. And even me, who was behind this from the start, is like, okay, that's an interesting mix, but it is working. The Malthael percentage damage is eating that front line. The low CC cooldowns between Tassadar, Deckard, and Varian are keeping people locked down and keeping them in that Malthael damage until the Last Rites and the Tassadar burst does happen. Everything is working in its own strange way. There's the taunt, Last Rites, see ya, Johanna. Again, they wait long enough until she's low and pick the kill.
This whole game is just like cat gravity. Like, it shouldn't work this way, but it does, and we're just going to accept it. Dragon is quite low, but the members of FF and the Pancakes are still pretty healthy. I eat my words. Varian goes down. Out comes that that medallion from Courtney there. Tassadar popping that Archon. We do not have level 20 quite yet, so it's just going to be standard Archon, most likely Twilight for the next engage. And look, I don't know, man. The keep goes down. The core is still relatively healthy. They get a kill. Gonna clean up these camps here.
Yeah, this is still doable. As long as you are still in the game, you still have a chance of winning, especially when you have a Li Ming on your team. It only takes a couple to turn that in your favor. Cannoneer, by the way, for Li Ming, trying to make up some extra damage. A little bit of extra consistency on the damage, as opposed to the Illusionist for avoiding and sustain and escaping abilities. Malthael, final curtain, really trying to just separate people out. And again, long-term fights, more Reaper's Marks means more healing, means more Memento Mori, which means more chances for last rites.
I just have to point out, and this is going to sound so dumb considering all of the fantastic analysts that Tetra just dropped on us. Triple Bruiser equals butt. Thank you, Buttspot, sassing Valkymer there. Sorry, I just had to bring attention to that because I felt like it was too good to pass up. We are going to see Icecrown Knights grabbing this Bruiser. They might have done it a little too slowly, though. They managed to grab it, but here comes the members of FF and the Pancakes, who actually might have been caught out in a kind of rough position. They have level 20, but you wouldn't know it. His duel is going to be the first to fall. Courtney taking a ton of damage. Li Ming popping off back there, using the Wave of Force to say, get out of here, kind of hitting them with the broom on the way out. That is going to be a very successful fight. Down 20s for our friends in the red. Exactly what they needed to get back into this game.
A insanely good play with Shinboku stepping off of that bruiser camp to stop it being stolen, because that bruiser just saved their lives. The spell armor from the mage bruiser kept Sonya alive long enough for the healing to come out. She might still die, but she's bought time. She avoids the sleep. She's on the run. Where's the last rites? 9 seconds away. The Lich Queen is running for their life. Where is Rhaegar? Where is Rhaegar? Lich Queen goes down. The dogs are pushing bot lane. But we're going to see top is claimed, counter bruiser pushing in, and the numbers are evened up, but Zool is back in 2 seconds.
It's going to be really, really rough. And FF and the Pancakes so good. Just when I feel... Don't come at me with your dog puns on my own stream. I'm barely hanging on in this game, and you're going to come for me like that. This should be another Dragon Knight going over to the side of FF and the Pancakes. No one is there to interrupt. Everything just being cleared out up in the top lane, and there is so much coming at Icecrown Citadel Knights now. We'll see if they can't hold this back, but bottom lane is where they look to be heading. There's no keep there, and this could be potentially the end of the game for FF and the Pancakes. They just want to take it down, use that 18-minute Dragon Knight, and try and demolish that core.
Slipping Horse a little bit low on mana, going to try and tap a Fountain. Have to go all the way to top lane to get it, but they need all that mana they can get. It's an 18-minute Dragon Knight. It is defendable, but it's going to be hard. Slipping Horse, Wave of Force, survives with Repulsion to keep themselves in this. Dragon Knight is focusing, but it is being targeted down by Sonya. In the meantime, the core is stunning out. That's a triple stun. Rhinos going to affect the elderly, but the silence still landed. In the meantime, the Dragon Knight is uncontested, Jinxie.
It is 50% on the core, and the members of FF and the Pancakes are actually not dying. It looked like it was a little bit worse than it is. 21% on the core, however, 6-5. That is going to be game number 2, and the series going over to FF and the Pancakes.
FF and the Pancakes take it home. The split second between the stay a while and listen going... Wow, I went really British on that word. Going off or being interrupted by the Condemn, and it got off just a split second worth of cast, which is enough for the Respect the Elderly buff to silence the enemies for 3 seconds, preventing Li Ming from achieving any resets and preventing that game being recovered.
For the Lich King.
For the Lich King, Dondress, thank you very much for the follow. I was going to make a joke, but I feel like we're long past it. Really well done by both teams. They're true to my word. So, like, all of you in chat, like, ha ha, ha ha, Leaving didn't die. So I was correct on one prediction this game, which is about that. Really close damage coming out here. Courtney was 69. Nice K damage. Leaving close with 67. We're going to take a look at some of these talents. We didn't really get a chance to go over them there. Lich Queen going for the block, and they survived quite a long time in some of these fights. Unfortunately, poor Lich Queen just being absolutely bullied up there in the top lane. Another thing that was really cool to see was that Farseer's Blessing come out at level 20, keeping Johanna alive there at the end. I mean, until the core fell, so super unlucky there, but it was cool to see. We don't usually get to see that talent picked up.
I like that we went for the composite spear, but I'm a little confused about it, 'cause there's so much percentage damage on the other side. The spear was mainly for backline dive to try and get onto Tassadar, but I can't help but feel that the upgrade of Wrath, that extra unstoppable to keep Sonya going onto that backline and avoid some more roots, might have been a strong play. If not, the pain is temporary. Is that the talent? No, that's the Zarya one. What is this? What is the Sonya level? The armor one.
There's Nerves of
Ignore
Steel,
pain?
and then I think it's Ignore Pain, or it might be Pain is temporary, because Zarya's is a shield or something. I don't remember.
Yes, that's the pain is temporary. So yeah, I think the upgrade on the Wrath could have been really good here, because both armor talents are going to struggle against the percentage damage. That little bit of extra cleanse would have been nice. I do like what they were trying to do with the spear, though, just to eat Tassadar. There's a cool strategy behind that. The Radiating Faith would help that a lot. But in the end, they couldn't get there back enough because they were never able to really go on the offensive. They were always on the defensive.
They put up a good fight, but in the end, I agree. Just having that triple front line was so hard for Johanna and Sonya to hold alone. Greymane, every time they went in, just kind of got exploded, which can be really, really rough. Looking to see, we do have that Unfettered Assault, which increases the lunge distance and of Razor Swipe and the Wurzing and basic attacks. I can't help but wonder if maybe the a build more dedicated to the human side of Greymane and then going in for the kill may have helped them. But again, still a very difficult team comp to fight into all the same. I am going to bring it back to us super quick and see if anybody on the side of FF and the Pancakes would like an interview, and then that'll be it for us this evening. All right, let's see. Jaeger, that's Y, all the way at the bottom. And while I'm looking for them, why don't you tell folks a little bit about you? Where can they find you, Tetcher?
You can find me in my bed in a couple hours because I'm tired. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Tetcher on all such things. I exist across the internet, making the increasingly wider apart bits of content that people refuse to believe is my job. But you can find me on those. I make fun content, doing some edited stuff. I do stream from time to time. I do some casting. You can also find me on NGS, or on Jinxeekatt channel, where I do cast games on my own channel. There and there. I don't know why I'm gesturing. I don't know why I thought you'd somehow be able to add an overlay the second I was talking. My brain isn't working. But you can find me on there doing such things, and I may be joining Jinxie in terms of having a show on the NGS channel quite soon.
Alrighty, it looks like they don't want to interview tonight, so that is going to be it for us. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I appreciate you so much. And the rest of you, chat, as well. We do this a lot, and it doesn't get any better than this. So if you hate the cutesiness, then I don't know, go. I'm trying to think of like a...
if they hate the cutesiness, then they're gonna be in for a frickin' treat in a couple weeks.